Hello over there, I'm Slumbo. Today we are going to look at modification of dimensions on the Autocad drawings. There have been several requests from the students that they cannot modify their dimensions once they have drawn their Autocad drawings. It's either when they are starting dimensioning, they can't see the dimensions. Alternatively, when they receive other drawings, when they try to dimension them, they cannot have the visible dimensions. So based on those requests, I thought that maybe we should look at how we should modify the dimensions or already existing dimensions, or maybe whenever you are creating the new dimension. But in this case, we are looking at the already existing dimensions which are not visible because maybe some of the parameters have changed, or maybe they don't satisfy the needs for us to see those drawings. So to do that, you need to access the dim style command, or in other versions of AutoCAD you have the pull down menu where you can go to the dim style, that is format dim style. But in as far as the 2016 AutoCAD version is concerned, you just type dim style. So dim style. Once you start typing dim style, then the AutoCAD will start giving you the options. But in this case, we are going to choose this dim style where you have that brush. So the dialog box comes, that's the pop-up box. We call it the dialog box because we are discussing with it. The computer is asking us what we want to do, and then we answer what we need to do. So you can see that we have two styles in as far as we are concerned here. We have the annotative, the one that is in blue, and also the standard. But then the current style in the drawing that we have is the standard, as we saw from the those icons, and also the on the ribbon. So for us to modify this, the standard has to be highlighted because that's the one that we want to modify, and then you click on the this modify so that we access the modification dialog box. So in the modify dialog box, you have these options. You have excuse me, you have the lines, symbols and arrows, text, fit, primary units, alternative units, and also tolerance. You can also see that the dimensions have been corrected to 4 decimal places. That is, you have 2, in this case you have 2.0207. So there are 4 decimal places, but we may not need that in architectural drawings. See, architectural drawings, most of the architectural drawings have their dimensions corrected to the nearest millimeter. Unless they were engineering drawings, that's where you can have maybe that precision. So you go to the primary units to correct this, to come up with the right precision primary units. So on the primary units, you have, of course, some of these are default. Then you can have a precision. Let's put 0 for the precision. So that's it. We are through with the precision, and then you move on to the fit. Of course, for the fit is you are looking at assuming maybe the size of the drawing is bigger than something that you are dimensioning. How do you want it to be? How do you want to place it? And at the same time, where you don't want to alter the values of the dimensions, you can just say use the overall scale of, so then the dimensions will come up to that kind of overall scale. Or whether you want to press the text manually, you can click on that. But maybe we have nothing to do with this in the meantime, so we're going to go to text. So as you can see, the default values of text in this case, but if we start with the text appearance, so we have the default, we have and all those things, but for us, we want to change. Maybe assuming that you want to change your text style, text font to a certain font, then you need to click on this. That is, it will bring the dialog box where you can specify the font type. Of course, you have the annotative and also standard. We are looking at the standard here. So in the meantime, let's choose the Century Gothic. Century Gothic, yeah, we have the Century Gothic. We will not bother about the text height in the meantime, but we can have it on the previous dialog boxes. So you say apply and then you say close. So we've changed our text to Gothic, Century Gothic. As you can see, the font has changed from Arial to Gothic, Century Gothic. And also you should notice the text is aligned horizontally regardless of the alignment of the dimension line. So it is following the horizontal alignment, as it is in this case is the horizontal alignment that has been checked. So we can change that to say align with the dimension line. So that has been aligned with the dimension line, and it has also been centered, as you can see. And then we also need to change the text height, because we are not able to see those dimensions because simply because the dimension height was too small. So we can change this. Maybe if we put at 150 and then we'll see what happens. So we have 150, and also yeah, so the text size has changed. And also we need we don't want the dimension line to be broken to allow for the text, the dimension text. So we can put the dimension text above the dimension line. So in this case, text placement, you go for that is above. So we have above the dimension line, but as you can see, is too close to the dimension line. So we need to separate, we need a gap between them. So to separate, you can change here at the offset from dimension line. So we are offsetting this text from the dimension line. So let's try to put maybe 20 and see what is happening. So for 20, you can see is still close to the dimension line. Maybe if we try maybe 60, let's see what happens. 60, so you can see 60 is at least good as opposed to maybe the previous specifications. But if you want to have the line drawn around the text, you can check on that. You can see all those dimensions have been have a box, they are enclosed in a rectangle. But if you don't want, then you remove that and then you have it the way they are. So in as far as we are concerned with the dimension, that's how it's supposed to be. But sometimes you can change the color. That is, if you want to change the text color, then this is cyan, and also then you need to change also the lines. But in the meantime, we are not changing anything. We are interested in the size of the text, or maybe the arrows. Then next we go to the symbols and arrows. Symbols and arrows, we mean to say where these dimension lines are meeting. Are we going to use arrows? Are we going to use or whatever that we need? So in this case, let's put arrow size. We said the dimension text, the size was 150. Let's try maybe 120 as the arrow size. So you can see that we have at least the arrows coming up. They are becoming bigger in size. We've tried, let's try 50. So we have that is if we have 50. But in most cases, whenever you are doing the architectural drawing, maybe you may prefer other kind of arrowheads as opposed to the one that we have in the drawing. As for me, I prefer oblique. So you have that oblique, it's okay. And maybe we can change. So since we have that one, we can change. We can have maybe 120 and see what is happening. So that's oblique. But some draftsmen who prefer maybe using a dot like this. So you have a dot. So for a dot, if you can't see it properly, you need to increase the size. Maybe let's say 180 and see what is happening. So you have those dots. In fact, maybe you can go on increasing that, but in my case, I'm interested in the oblique size. So I will change there. I will have 120. So that's how it is. And the we have the arrowhead style, and then for the lines we can also go to the lines. Of course, you can change the color of the lines, that is if you want, and line type if you want the line to be continuous, or maybe other types. Line weight, that is you in most cases for the dimensions we do change the line weight, maybe probably to 0.05 millimeters. That will be acceptable. And extend beyond tick, so where we have this tick, by how much length should we extend. So let's try to say we had the value of the architectural arrowheads, it was 120. Let's try to have also 120 there and see what is happening. So we have that one, and also we have extend beyond dimension line. So this was beyond the ticks, that is we are going that way, and beyond the dimension line it is that is after the dimension line. So maybe let's have 120 also there. So that's what we have. Yeah, so you can see that's what we have for the architecture, for the brick ticks. And offset from the dimension, you can see these lines are very close to the drawing, so they may give confusions to the dimensions and the drawing. They may confuse us. Now, to avoid such confusions, we need to have an adequate gap between the dimension line, between this dimension projection line and the outline of the drawing. So maybe if we try to have 40, let's try 40 and see what is happening, what will be the gap. So you can see that gap is being created. Maybe let's have 75. So 75 we have, so that's the gap. But you can also have the fixed length, fixed length extension line. That is, you can click on that and then you have the length that you need. But in this case we do not need that fixed, but however once we need it, or in other discussion, we may include that one. So having achieved that, like I said, you can also change the color of the dimension line, like the way we've done it, and then also you change the color of the whatever, so you have that color cyan. But in the meantime, like I said, we are not changing any color. What we are interested in is the size, the actual size of the dimension line. So once you are satisfied, you say maybe you have done a great job, you have changed most of the areas that matters to the dimensions, then you say okay. So for this, then you say close, because you have changed everything. Then you close and see the effect. Let's close it and see the effect. So you can see we have that particular effect. Okay, so it means that now if we are to dimension any line, let's imagine we are dimension, this is linear, so you click on the linear and then let's dimension it. We have that one, so that's it. That's our dimension. So that's how it is. So assuming that maybe you want to reduce the size of the dimensions, if you have realized that these dimensions are too big, then you go to dim style. You go to dim style again, dim style. So dim style, you choose your dim style and then you say modify. So you have modify, and we just go straight to the text, and then you change here. Let's imagine if we want 100, so you type 100 and then you say okay, and you say close. You can see that the dimensions have changed. So that's how it is. I believe it is okay with you, it's okay how to do it. But then I will also, in the next video, I will show you where you have multiple dimensions, and how do you dimension styles, how do you change, maybe using those multiple dimensions. But in the meantime, since we only have on this case we have the annotative and also the standard, so it's okay. I believe that have been useful. I'll be looking forward to your comments on what we have done here. So God bless you.